I'm Filipa Jùlio from the European Huntington Association, and I'm going to present our work about the view of people at risk and people with pre-manifest HD regarding research participation. So the starting point for our work was to realize that despite all the progresses in HD research, we still don't have any effective therapies that can either change or stop HD. And we believe that for these therapies to be true, HD families need to show an active and long-lasting commitment with studies and trials. More specifically, we believe those that are traditionally less involved in studies, such as people at risk or people with pre-manifest HD, should be engaged and heard in this process. So the main goal of this work was to understand which factors affect the willingness of people at risk and people with pre-manifest HD to participate in research and check for any differences between them. To do this, we have created a short online survey that was translated and made available in 12 languages, thanks to the help and solidarity of our members. This survey included questions about research experience and knowledge, sources of information, reasons for getting involved or not getting involved in research, and about the factors that can either prevent or facilitate study participation. And we then compared the answers of the two groups on these several questions. So the survey was filled by 525 people or persons from 27 countries that you can see here. And on this table, we see that persons with HD risk and persons with pre-HD were equally represented in this survey, which is quite nice, of course. So we had mainly women, young adults and people in their early 40s with a relatively high education level answering the survey. And interestingly, we found that persons with HD risk were younger than persons with pre-HD, although this matches the features that are usually reported for these groups. So these further answers show that most respondents never participated in HD studies, and around 40% of them thought that their research knowledge is not good or should be better. We found that people mainly rely on the internet to get research information, and that these groups, and this is a very important result from this study, turn to patient associations to get information, updates and news about research. So looking at the group differences, we see that pre-HD, the pre-HD group or persons with pre-HD reported more research experience and better research knowledge than persons with HD risk who rely more on their family members to get research information. So now speaking about the reasons for getting involved or not getting involved in research. And if we look at the brown bars here from left to right, we see that overall the reasons for getting involved in research were altruistic, so had to do with what this can bring to others, and were considered more important than the reasons for not getting involved in research. We see that people don't get involved in research mainly because of negative emotions such as anxiety or a sense of hopelessness about the future. And again, we found significant group differences. So we see that people with pre-HD, here in green, gave higher importance to the reasons for getting involved in research, and people with HD risk that are here represented in blue gave higher importance to the reasons for not getting involved in research. So about the two last questions, and looking at these two graphs, we see that globally the factors preventing research participation were tangible things such as time and financial problems or invasive procedures, and factors facilitating participation had to do with having easier access and more support from healthcare professionals. We also found that persons with HD risk identified more barriers to participate in research and the need for more support to engage in studies compared to people with pre-HD. So we can say that our multinational survey showed that persons at risk and persons with pre-manifest HD show high motivation to take part in studies, despite having limited research experience and limited research knowledge. So we found that this motivation is strongly influenced by both personal and interpersonal factors, such as time and financial constraints, the invasiveness of procedures, or the professional or family support provided. Importantly, and this is one of the major findings of our study, we found that this motivation to take part in studies is clearly influenced by HD status. So to conclude, we can say that based on these findings, we can have now a solid knowledge base to prepare the implementation of actions within Moving Forward, which is the latest THA project that aims to increase the research engagement of these specific groups. Also, our findings suggest that patient associations have a key role in promoting research engagement through education and support. And this is quite important because it really validates our role in this process. And finally, our findings suggest that tailored interventions would be probably more effective to bring these groups closer to research. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you for your interest in our work, which is also displayed in a poster at this meeting. And I will be happy to provide any further details if you want. So thank you.